All right. A very, very good morning. Happy Holy Saturday. Happy Easter once more. Hope everybody's all right. We have a couple of news headlines that I'm going to track through real quick this morning. I'm not prepared to make a video. At least not this morning. So hence I'm just doing this post note kind of thing. And yeah, let's see what football has in store for us. First and foremost, there is this Enzo Fernandez debacle going around the whole of European football, and this comes because of the statements that Enzo Fernandez made previously after the match, after Chelsea lost the match against Paris Saint-Germain. And I quote, he said, one of the statements that he said is that I always tell my wife, to if I had to choose a city to live in Europe, I really like Madrid. So this has sent a lot of shockwaves, especially against Chelsea fans. Chelsea fans didn't like this statement, and it's not only the Chelsea fans. Rose, I don't know how to pronounce his name, guys. Hence, I'm gonna be calling him Rose. Rose Liam, yeah, Liam. He a lot of people kind of like feel like this, this statement shows a lack of respect towards the fans, towards his teammates, and towards the club. But Enzo Fernandez agent yesterday did an interview. So Javier Pastore, who's the agent for Enzo Fernandez, said, and I quote, one of the statement that I said, and I quote, at no point did he show a lack of respect towards the club, the fans, nor his teammate or anyone else. So, mm, for me, I'm a non-Chelsea fan. I don't support Chelsea in any capacity or form. But as just a football lover, a person who likes football, right? If my captain, one of my club captains, let's say if one of like Frankie De Jong came out and said, I love Madrid. One of the cities that I would like to choose in is Real Madrid. I'll be pissed. And I'm just saying this, I'll be pissed. I know I'm saying this as a human being, I'm saying this as a football fan in general, and as a soccer fan, I'll be pissed, right? If one of my captains, after a defeat, like let's say for instance, the defeat, if we lose to like if we lose this weekend to Atletico Madrid, and one of the club captain comes and said, if I were to choose a city to live in Europe, I really like I really like Madrid. I'll I'll be and let me just give you a throwback. I take back to when Xavi, what caused Xavi Hernandez to lose his job at Barcelona was because of the statement that he said. He said we cannot financially compete with the likes of Real Madrid. Hence, it will be tough for us to compete for trophies, to major trophies like La Liga and the Champions League, because we are not in a good financial capacity to buy players. And that the next day Xavi Hernandez was fired. So as a club captain, you have to show leadership on and off the pitch, especially off the pitch when the dressing room is in shambles. When it's been dismantled, it's been decentralized like that. You have to show leadership, guys. You have to show passion. You have to show heart. I don't think a captain like John Terry would have come out and said a statement like this, right? I don't think any club captain would come out and say a statement like this. I'm not saying I know, I really know what he meant, but again, you gotta be really, as a leader, you gotta be really self-conscious with the things that you say. Especially, you have to put into consideration the people who are going to receive it. How are they going to, you know contextualize it? How are they going to take it? So for me, this is just unacceptable. I like Enzo Fernandez. He's one of my favorite players. At least at Chelsea, he's one of my favorite players. But you should have had a way of morphing statements like this, of saying even though. So this actually just sent green lights to Real Madrid And Real Madrid, they are actually looking. They've got interest in buying Enzo Fernandez and bringing Enzo Fernandez to their club, but there is a condition anchored to it. There is a condition attached to it. So Real Madrid want to buy Enzo Fernandez, but only on their condition. And one of the condition is that the club will not pay 120 million, sorry, 120 million euros, which is, I think, which is the buyout clause for, or the release clause for Enzo Fernandez if Chelsea misses out on the Champions League. So if Chelsea fail to qualify the Champions League, Real Madrid will not be willing to pay at least 120 million to bring him to the Santiago Bernabeu, right? So, and I think according to my knowledge, at least Enzo Fernandez has got at least, is it 6 years left on his contract somehow. So in order to release Enzo Fernandez, in order for Chelsea to release Enzo Fernandez, the club who wants to purchase Enzo Fernandez has to buy out, has to pay the release clause, which is 120 million euros, right? So Real Madrid have got their condition that they will not pay this amount of money if Chelsea misses out on the Champions League. And just looking at where Chelsea are at the moment right now, Chelsea, I think they're out of the top five. I don't know, it's been long since I checked the league table, but I think Chelsea, they are out of the top five. They're number six, somewhere there. And there are a lot of teams fighting for that fifth spot, right? Because I gotta say, I feel like the top four has been locked in. It's not going to. We have Arsenal number one, Manchester City number two, and then is it Aston Villa or Manchester United number four, number five spot? Yeah, somewhere there. It's been long since I checked. Help me out here, guys. So it's only the number five spot which is remaining. So Liverpool, the likes of Liverpool, the likes of Chelsea themselves, they are looking to grab that fifth spot, right? So I don't know. There's I'll put the link in the bio so that you can check out the interview that Javier Pastore, the agent of Enzo Fernandez, did yesterday, so that you can read out the whole detail. So I don't know what's going to happen with Enzo Fernandez, but if I were him, I would apologize. I don't know. Does he want to leave Chelsea? One, it all depends on him. Does he want to leave Chelsea? And will Chelsea accept amount which is any amount which is lower than the release clause? Would they accept that? So it's up to him. And Liam, the head coach or the manager of Chelsea, doesn't want to play Enzo Fernandez. At least in today's match, I don't know if he's benching Enzo Fernandez. So what's the situation here, right? So we'll keep on checking out the situation. And then my next headline is all about Italian football, and this obviously has to do with the fact that the Italian national team have failed to qualify for the World Cup three times in a row. I did this in my previous video, so you can go ahead and check it out there. So now Italy, the Italian Federation have confirmed three big changes following their miss out on the World Cup. So the head coach Gattuso is out, right? He's no longer the head coach for the Italian national team. The head of delegation, Gianluigi Buffon, a legend in Italian football, has resigned, and the president, the FA president, the president of the Italian Federation Football, has also resigned. Gabriel, is it Gabriel? I don't know. Gabriel? I don't know how to pronounce his name, guys. I don't know Italian, so I don't know how to pronounce his name. Has also resigned. So Italy right now has no head coach, has no head of delegation, has no FA president. What do you do with Italian football, guys? What do you do Italian football? So look, we don't have to pretend that Italian football is all, because when you look at even the Serie A itself, when you look at um the players that really shine in Italy, the players that perform well in Italian football, these are not Italian based players, right? Most Italian based players that are benched, or they're not. they're not even actually played, right? I gotta say, right now, the only I gotta say the top two Italian best players, uh, Gianluigi Donnarumma, who's at Man City, and I think right now the best player Italian Italian football right now, the current best player in Italy right now, who's Italian best, who's playing in Italy, is Bastoni, and he was red carded in that match against Bosnia. So a lot is going on with Italian people, but I gotta say that they need to go back to the drawing board. There's a huge change. They need to change a lot of things, and it's not only the board management or whatever. They gotta change their perspective. They gotta change the way they view football, the way they look at football. I mean, like they shouldn't keep on living on, you know, the the past. I think they live in the past, especially the Italian national team. So they gotta look at facts like that. Like, what do we need? They gotta look at the academies. They gotta let these players shine and do, because right now football is advanced. It's sort of changed to the way football was, let's say 15, 20 years ago. It's sort of advanced. So you gotta look at the academy. Most teams, they build their teams from the academy. So that's what they do. Most teams, they build their players from the academy. You look at teams like France, teams like Spain, they build their teams from the academy. So they gotta do that, and they gotta look at all aspects of football, and we'll see. And then the last one on today's show is Joachim Low. Joachim Low, the former German head coach, is now close to becoming the new head coach for the Ghanaian national team ahead of the 2026 World Cup in the US, Canada, in Mexico. Whew. I don't know how true this is, but I got this source from a Ghanaian based source media, so I just thought I had to tackle it. So I don't know, what do you think about these guys? Joachim Low, is he really the man to? Because when you look at Ghana's performance, this follows after the sacking of the previous head coach. So, and when you look at Ghana's performance in friendlies right now, they're all losses in their last 5-6 games. They've been all losses. So I don't know, is this a good hire? Does Joachim Low have time to sort of like study these players? Because mind you, the international break is over. We won't have another international break till the season has ended, and that international break that comes, that's the World Cup window, right? The World Cup tournament window, and you have maybe 2 or 3 games to prepare. But I don't know. Is this a good hire? I don't think so. There's so much little time, even for a coach who has a caliber of Joachim Low. I think this is like too soon. Maybe at least if they were looking furthermore, after the World Cup, yeah, they could like renegotiate. They could reconsider this. But I gotta say, this doesn't make sense to me, because the international break is done. We won't have another international break until the season is done, which will lead into the World Cup. So I don't know. This is, for me, this is at least much too soon. So I don't know. What do you guys think about this? I'll see you in the video that I prepared for the day. I didn't really prepare for this, but I just thought of me doing it at least. So I will see you in the match analysis of Barcelona versus Atletico. I'm gonna do that later during the day. So stay safe. Happy Holy Saturday once more. Happy Easter. Stay blessed.